Daily Detroit is brought to you by the community. Support our work at patreon.com/dailydetroit.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to your Daily Detroit. We are back from the holiday. It is Tuesday, October 10th, 2023. And although it's Tuesday, I feel like we cannot miss out on our weekly dose of Fletcher Sharpe. How are you?
I'm all right. You know, the weekend was long, which I appreciate, but it's also kind of cold.
I personally am all about this weather. I have disagreed with many of our teammates about this, but I feel like this is my peak season.
I mean, if it works for you, that's fine. It's just, we just had a porch installed in our house, and we were really happy to sit there and take it in. And then this last weekend, it was the wind just hitting us in the face. Like, this is not fun.
So we're going to talk about sports, but we're entering into spooky season. And I want to do a segment that we call This Week in Clickbait Statistics, Fletcher.
Yeah, sure. Hit me.
All right. So are you curious which Halloween movies Michiganders love the most? All right. Now, this is a national survey by some outfit called UDish. I really don't even know what they do, but I get these surveys all the time from places where I can't really even check their veracity as methodology or anything. That's why I call it This Week in Clickbait Statistics. So this one's about favorite kids movies in the U.S. I'm going to give you the possible options, and I'd love for your quick reactions on them, and then we'll talk about which one is in fact the favorite. So Ghostbusters 1984.
It's a classic film. I don't really think kids of today would like it. I think a lot of the references go over their head, but I mean, I get it.
All right. Spirited Away.
I know it's a kid's movie. That feels on the higher end of like kids' movies in terms of age.
Frankenstein from 1931.
There's no child who watches that movie. No.
All right.
No, it's not that.
Scooby-Doo.
Is it the live action one from like 2002? Or is it like one of the cartoon remakes? I mean, I get that because Scooby-Doo is kind of timeless, but I'm going to assume it's the live action one, which I guess would make some sense because, you know, again, Scooby-Doo is timeless, but, you know, I don't know.
All right. The Addams Family.
Again, which one? Because they revamped these things. I find it really funny. They notified, like, we mean this Ghostbusters, specifically this one, not any of the other ones. But I mean, Addams Family, I understand. I know there's been a fascination with Wednesday as of late. I know she has her own Netflix show, so I guess people could work backwards and kind of watch the whole family do stuff.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, that movie used to give me the creeps. Oh, especially that scene at the end where he's battling the bad guy and like he opens him up and like bugs. I'm an adult and I'm still like cringing about that. I hope it's not that one because then I worry about the children if that's the case.
I'm with you. All right. It's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
I feel like that was something for kids of a generation before and before that. I feel like kids now don't watch that one anymore.
Oh, that would be
it
for
can't
me.
Be that one.
That'd be for me. Like my generation, I feel like that's about right. Maybe I'm on the edge of it. I know it's like a little bit older than my generation, but maybe handed down through kids, you know, through parents or whatever. Coraline.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, that's the one with like the creepy girl. But yeah, E.T.
E.T.'s not a Halloween movie. No.
Really?
It's not that. E.T.'s not a Halloween. I don't even know what the holiday for that is. It's not a Halloween. I know there's like obviously there's a scene where they put the sheet over him as if it's a ghost and that's not a Halloween movie. You can't just like set a scene during a holiday and be like, it's this type of... No, that doesn't count.
Okay.
No.
Sidebar, is Die Hard a Christmas movie for you?
I'm going to plead the fifth because either way I fall in it, it's going to get me people messaging me about it, and I don't want that.
Hocus Pocus, the original from 93.
Oh, man. My girlfriend loves Hocus Pocus. We were literally just talking about it, and I mentioned there might be a sequel, and she like melted down. She does not want that redone. I feel like that's also an older kid film, though. Like that's from maybe like the 80s, 90s, not Children of Now. So yeah, probably not that one either.
Halloween Town. I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, I've read that phrase, but I have not clicked on a link on Wikipedia or anything, so I have no idea either. I hope it's not that.
Beetlejuice?
With Michael Keaton? Or like...
There's no date on this one.
Kids now are not watching Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice. No. Fully no. No way. They'd have nightmares. No way.
Hotel Transylvania?
No. I could see why, but no.
And finally, Casper.
I haven't even thought about Casper in like a few years, honestly. So yeah, I hope it's not that because that would stink.
All right, drum roll, please. The most popular kids' Halloween movie in Michigan is Scooby-Doo.
Man, people really like watching Freddie Prinze Jr., I guess. If it's the movie that I think it is, which is the live action one from 2002, where they perfectly casted Freddie Prinze Jr. as Fred, Sarah Michelle Gellar as Daphne, Matthew Lillard as Shaggy, then like I could see it because it's a movie where Scooby-Doo is not like a cartoon dog. He's legit, out there eating Scooby snacks. Hearing Matthew Lillard go, "Zoink Scoop," like it's actually a thing. But yeah, just them leaving it that open-ended is just really strange to me because there's been like so many Scooby-Doo movies that have come out, albeit a lot of them have been cartoons, but still that have come out. I mean, it's a good choice. Scooby-Doo is timeless, like I said, around this holiday.
But would it be your choice out of these?
Out of those, my choice wouldn't be a kid's movie.
All right.
My choice would be Saw. Saw 2 in particular. I'm not like a gory guy, and like obviously Saw is full of gore. But like the difference between a movie like Saw and a movie like Hostel, where it's like Saw has like a plot behind it, albeit not a great plot, but like there's a plot. Hostel's like, guess what? We're going to make you sick to your stomach. Like whatever you thought couldn't happen is about to happen right now. At least for Saw, they're like, well, there's a reason for this. It's happening because of this and this and this. And you're like, that doesn't make any sense, man. But okay, I'm going to go with it. Hostel is like, hey, you eating breakfast, having a nice time? Here's a human head. That's the rest of the movie. Like, okay, thanks, I guess. You ruined my day.
For me, and this betrays my age, I think it's definitely Ghostbusters. I grew up on Ghostbusters. Like when I was like 6 years old, that was like the thing, right? Like Zool, like all that stuff. So maybe that's what's burned into my mind.
I know of the movie just because I watched it a few times when I was younger. I mean, yeah, the Stay Puft Man. Like you see that and you're
right?
like, oh, something's about to go down.
Well, thank you for playing. And if anyone else has nominations for this week in Clickbait Statistics, I am all for it. Because you know what? If we don't know the methodologies, all we can do is give opinions. A sports-related, but not necessarily sports on the field story is this thing about these Travis Scott shoes. You sent me this thing from Trendy Golf. It's an interesting thing because there's been a lot of talk around shoes and resale and all that. We've talked about StockX on the show a ton of times. Like StockX, based here in Detroit, is one of the top reseller places where they try to get authenticity, all that other stuff. But this is a whole other look at it from this golfing store in London, Fletcher. This is interesting to try to get shoes in the hands of people who are actually into the thing as opposed to the highest bidder.
I hope there aren't any people listening who are this, because if so, I'm sorry, but not that sorry. Resale people are like the scourge of the earth. Like it's them and like meter maids. Those are the two people that like, if I see that as your profession, like I need you to get away from me because you've wronged me in many ways and I'm not going to ever forgive you for it. But to prevent resellers from buying their shoe and then marking up the price, they need it's like you need to hit a ball, golf shoe. You need to hit a ball 200 yards in 2 tries, which would eliminate a lot of resellers because they're just hitting buttons to go click, 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 click like that. You have to show up and actually do it yourself, which 200 yards is not. I can do that, and I'm not an accomplished golfer. But like, I'd love to see companies where it's like, oh, you want to buy this soccer cleat? Crossbar challenge. Hit the crossbar 5 times in 10 tries. Or not even 5. Hit the crossbar 3 times or 2 times in 10 tries. Or basketball. Make 5 free throws. Or football. I don't know, I'd love to see that so that resellers don't take these things and then just buy them all in bulk and then resell them at ridiculous prices to where people can't afford them anymore. Because companies don't care because their things being bought, but like they're supposed to be bought by the people, not bought by a person to resell to people,
Yeah. And this is the Travis Scotts, to be clear.
Yeah, which again, I mean, big hype beast shoe. Like I don't think in terms of like, I'm not a golfing guy. I don't really know how shoes are supposed to fit. Like, I'm pretty sure they'll probably be worn way more often off of golf courses than maybe so on. But even still, like, they're going to be going very quickly. So to prevent hype beasts from buying them, then reselling them at extremely dumb prices, they put this thing in there. And I gladly appreciate it. I truly do. Because it allows them to be bought by people who actually will utilize them in a way that people think is proper, as opposed to just buying them and selling them for 2.5 times their worth because you're the only person who has them.
Yeah. All right, let's get into some sports. The Lions won 42-24 It was a thing of beauty to see, especially with so many injuries, people off the table, and we still just rolled over the Panthers. It's not like the Panthers are good, but we still rolled over them.
I mean, that's what I was saying last week was, like, I expect the Lions to win, whether they had Amon-Ra St. Brown or Brian Branch, or, as we found out for the game started, Jahmyr Gibbs, because the Lions are really good where the Panthers are really bad. The Lions defense, which is something that if I had told 10-year-old self that, the Lions would have a great defense, it'd be like, you're an idiot, shut up. But like, yeah, the Lions defense is like top tier. There is a stat that came out from Will Birchfield. The Detroit Lions against RB1s, so running back ones for teams. They faced Isaiah Pacheco, Kenneth Walker, Bijan Robinson, Aaron Jones, and Miles Sanders. This year, they've all combined 47 carries, 149 yards, which is 3.2 yards per carry. Those same running backs against every other team, 5 yards a carry. So they're making these star running backs do 1.8 less yards per carry. That's an insane number to think about. Like, I know people are like, it's only 1.8. When you multiply that going forward, that goes from like 1.8 yards to like 5, 6, 10, 20. Like, they're limiting these star players. I know Kenneth Walker still had a decent day, but like Bijan Robinson last week with the Falcons had one play where he made this one-handed catch, ball was behind his back, juked out two people and ran into the end zone. And every game this season the Falcons have played, he's had one or two like iconic show-stopping moves where like the NFL's like, did you see Bijan Robinson? Except the game against the Lions. They made him look like a regular mundane running back, which is, this guy's like brimming with talent. It's insane. The defense just, they get their teeth in you. You just don't do anything. And that's crazy. They forced you to make throws, and then their defense steps up and intercepts. The offense played well, but the offense had so many short fields to play off of because the defense just set them up to be great. And I remember all the years in the past when the offense was really good and the defense was bad, and the defense got pretty good and the offense was mediocre. There's nothing more embarrassing than getting an interception, taking the ball to the 35-yard line of the opposing team, than watching your team settle for a 50-yard field goal because they couldn't move the ball more than 5 yards. With these Lions, they get the ball back. First play, double reverse, flea flicker for a touchdown. They're going for people's hearts. This isn't like we're playing a game to like, they're going to knock people out as quickly as they can. And they knocked the Panthers out early into that game, as early as possible. And I just, from someone who's watched the Lions do this a lot of times and not actually been able to knock teams out, it's like impressive how Dan Campbell's gotten everyone just to buy in. Like, it's us against every other team in this league. And I'd rather have our 53 odd guys in here than anyone else. And just to see that is like, obviously they have cameras in locker rooms, but he's not doing this for the camera. This is just him. And like, to see that and see it permeate, not just from the players, but from the front office to the fans, and just how the city is now like, you talk about the Lions, people get happy. Before we talk about the Lions, people are like, we'll see, or they'll tell you to shut up. Now people are like, that's right, the Lions. People are wearing ski masks all around, and not because, it's cold. It's because it's Lions football season.
Fletcher, the energy around this stuff. Detroit is a Lions town all over this region. Man, I was at the grocery store the other day, and half the place has Lions jerseys. It's something that I have not seen in my lifetime. I'm actually kind of glad to see it.
Yeah, no, like I've seen people bring out like the Scott Mitchell, Joey Harrington, like back when the Dante Culpepper jerseys. You're like, hey, maybe put those away because that's when the Lions were bad, and like this is not the energy we want. But like that's something that's a great thing to see. But like you see, they're bringing like stars back to Detroit to watch the Lions. They had this weekend, Jalen Rose was there. So was Big Sean. Kelvin Johnson, and obviously Barry Sanders has been there through a little bit. Eminem was there.
His daughter was there too.
Right. And I know the first home game they had Detroiters duo, Sam Richardson and Tim Robinson were there, both wearing ski masks. Whereas before, people who are based out of the city would just go to the games by them. It's like a lot of people would go to Rams games because they're in Los Angeles or Miami or the Bears in Chicago or literally anywhere else because that's where they were. But now the Lions are bringing people back to Detroit to go to Ford Field and watch games. And honestly, that lets you know that this is really here to stay. Like, people really do care.
Yeah, those kinds of people don't like to be photographed near a loser.
No, and they picked a really good time to come back.
100%. Looking forward, I got to tell you, I look at this team, and not only do I see NFC North, but I'm starting to feel like we could, I'm not saying we will, depending on who we draw, I feel like this team could even, if it holds it together, get a playoff win.
Yeah, that's really more down to just staying focused, staying positive, and doing the right things. But yeah, like I said last week, looking at their schedule, I don't see how they don't win 11, 12 games. I don't. I'm seeing who they're playing. I'm watching some of those teams play against other teams, and like the holes that teams have, like they can exploit. The Lions don't. I'm not saying the Lions are the best team in the league. I think that's the 49ers right now, but like you could put them against almost anybody in the league right now, and like I'm sure the odds in Vegas would be pretty close to being even. Like you wouldn't want to bet against them because you might lose a fair sum of money.
Jameson Williams got a little bit of time on the field too, probably in part because of all the pieces we're missing. But, he made some contributions as far as like getting into there, although he made some drops too. But I didn't really have high expectations for him on a first game.
I think he finished with 2 catches for 2 yards total and had a few drops, but I don't care about any of that. I think he had a tremendous day. And the reason why I think that is because when he was at Alabama, yes, he was that speedster who'd make a few plays, catch the ball, score a touchdown, and he'd let you know about it. But the thing I really saw that made my mouth salivate as a football enjoyer, regardless of how well his game is going or not, if it's a run play, he's still putting his chest into yours and putting you in the ground. He's putting his shoulder into your shoulder and knocking you into the ground and standing over you. And that's what he was doing on Sunday that was more valuable. His run blocking was like super key. There was one where one of the running back cut it back to pick up an extra 15, 20 yards. And the reason why he was able to do that was because when he cut it back, Jameson, who was still blocking, it wasn't like a thing where he turned around to make sure. He was blocking until the ref blew the whistle. The guy cut back, ran right by him. The DB couldn't get to him. The running back was able to pick up more yards. To me, that shows that he's fully committed to this team. It shows that he's like, I don't care. I could have 400 yards receiving today. I could have 7 drops. Doesn't matter. You're going to feel this hit. It got to the point where DBs were like, I hope this is a pass play. I hope this is a pass play. He's not going to hit me, because if it's a run play, he's going to hit me, and I'm getting tired of it. Obviously, you'd love to see him go out there and get 100 yards and maybe a touchdown or 2. But if he's out there contributing nonetheless, especially like this, it shows that he's definitely someone who wants to be here. Because otherwise, receivers blocking is like, that never happens.
Let's talk about the Pistons. We're in the middle of preseason. You and I both agree on this, that preseason really, it doesn't matter that much. It's not something that we try to hang our hats on, because preseason in pro sports really doesn't tell you very much, but it can tell you about individuals and some things you're looking for. So as we kind of get ready here, and I'm sure we're going to talk about it again before the regular season opener on October 25th against the Heat, what have you noticed so far? 1 or 2 things that you've noticed so far in the Pistons preseason that you're excited about?
They lost to the Phoenix Suns, which, I mean, losing stinks. Again, it's preseason, though, so we got to look deeper into the numbers to see exactly. Because I know late, it ended up going into overtime. So I know late that the game was, a close game. But was it a close game because Kevin Durant and Cade Cunningham were dueling? Or was it a close game because Bol and Grayson Allen off the bench for the Suns were competing against, James Wiseman and Xavier Simpson? Like, are these the star players or these are backup players? What it showed me is Jaden Ivey did a little bit more into shooting in the offseason. He went 3 of 6 from 3, which is helpful. Isaiah Stewart was shooting from 3 consistently. He took 6 attempts, made 1, assisted by Cade Cunningham, who looked like he wasn't dealing with any after effects after, having the year off from injury and having surgery. He looked like the Cade Cunningham of old, which fits in really well. Jalen Duren was doing the best he could. He was limited, obviously, only had 6 points, 1 rebound, which isn't the Jalen Duren we've come to know and love, but I mean, it's a start. I know before the game, coach said that he's only taking 1 backup big man. So it's between Marvin Bagley and James Wiseman, who got the lion's share of the minutes. And Marvin Bagley definitely made the most of his with 25 points, showing he wants to be here. James Wiseman might potentially be on his way out of the door, which, it would stink to lose a player, but he's not really benefiting you. So why keep him at this point? I like the way that they looked. I mean, obviously they're still learning each other. There's, still a few things they need to go over. They have Joe Harris now, who's a great backup wingman, shoot the ball. Very helpful there. Has some veteran leadership. Pretty sure he has an NBA title too to help, with the younger players to go with Bogdan as well. I'm encouraged by the Pistons. Obviously, you want them to take a step from last year and go forward. You hope they do so with Cade coming back at a year under Jaden Ivey and Jalen Duren's belt. But again, they're a young team where it's supposed to be exciting, and they looked exciting yesterday from parts.
And honestly, that's all we can look for this year. I'm glad to be watching them. All right, Detroit City FC has their last game, regular season game of the year coming up against the Supporters Shield winning Pittsburgh Riverhounds. And if you don't know, if you're new to soccer, Supporters Shield is the top regular season record in the league. They clinched that last week sometime. Anyway, important game. We have to win it to make the playoffs. Some quick thoughts. I mean, I always love to see a win. It was a 3-0 trouncing of Loudoun, but it's Loudoun. So, yeah.
I've said it before. I'll be really brief in saying it again. I heard people talk about maybe if they get Pittsburgh their last game of the season, they might have clinched by then, so maybe Pittsburgh will be taking things easy. Their head coach, Bob Lilly, is one of the most super, super disciplined type of coach where maybe he might put out his starters and maybe he won't put him play the full intensity, but he's not letting you win that game. If you need to win something to get in there, you better hope that you draw, because if it's a win you need, if you get the win, you'll definitely earn the win for sure. And that would be great for the organization. But if you're we're going to come in here, we're going to be playing hard, so will Pittsburgh. They do not care if they've clinched. The only thing they care about is a title at the end of the season. And why would they take a game off when they're going to be playing them in the playoffs this following week? I don't see good things for DCFC ahead, but who knows? While I've been right most of the season, I could be wrong one last time.
Yeah. I mean, I think you got two teams in completely different worlds. Of course, I want City to win, right? Of course, I want to see that. But these are two different teams that, I think the Riverhounds have nearly 50 goals this year.
Yeah, Albert Dequa, their leading scorer, has 19. He's a Golden Boot, probably going to win the Golden Boot for most goals in a season.
Okay, so yeah, goals for, 50 goals for. They have a pretty strong offense, and we have 30. They've got 66 points atop the standings. I would love to see a win and get us into the playoffs, although it just means we go to Pittsburgh and play them again. All the other things aside, everybody wants to see a win. I think everyone knows changes are going to be afoot regardless if we win or not tonight, but this could be an opportunity for some players who want to stay on to show what they could do.
But also, win doesn't guarantee you get in, because right now
that's right.
They're behind Miami, who goes by 1 point. They hold the head-to-head with Miami, which is so strange that I will not get into it. But they hold the head-to-head, which puts them ahead of Miami if they were to tie on points allowed. Miami goes to Sacramento to play, and Sacramento, I think, has only given up maybe 4 points at home all season. So, Miami in the same boat could potentially go to Sacramento and lose, but they could also go to Sacramento. They have as good of a chance to win in Sacramento as I think DCFC does at winning at home against Pittsburgh. So it's really, truly 2 coin tosses.
Yeah, just so people know, Sacramento, if you don't know, is the number 2 team in the entire table, but they just run the West. So it's both kind of into buzzsaws for both of us, frankly.
Yeah, so I mean, if they win, that'd be great for them, but if they don't, I think it'll probably be better for them in the long run, because you can address all your issues now instead of parading the fact you made the playoffs and ignoring the fact that you almost came really close to breaking a record for least amount of goals scored this season. For me, that would scare me into figuring something else out. But then again, I am not that smart, and I do not hold, a big position at a club like that. So, my opinion doesn't matter. But if it was me, I would say, hey, we got to address that in the offseason, because that can't happen again.
Well, as always, feedback 313-789-3211. We got a lot of feedback from last week's show, so we'll be sharing some of those in those future episodes. With that, I am Jer Stays.
And I'm Fletcher Sharpe.
Thank you so much for listening to Your Daily Detroit. Remember that you are somebody, and we'll see you around town.